it felt like you were kind of leaning towards Cloud9 on this one. What's your gut telling you, and why?
You cannot be calling me out like this in front of this hometown crowd of Sentinels. But I think that long break will help Cloud9 power through this last BO3 that we have, the qualifying match for Berlin.
We'll see if that's the case. That's a great start for Sentinels already, as Zelsis draws first blood.
And the last time Cloud9 ran this type of composition on this map, it was actually Moose on the Killjoy. Everything else is the same.
He has historically seemed more comfortable on the Cypher, so I suppose that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Cypher's been getting more and more popular on a map like this. Gives you so much info across the board. We saw Thief have a great defensive side with the setups that he had in that last series against Sen. Maybe that's why the change was made on the fly.
Thief really did have an exceptional series.
Yeah. So far from Cloud9, they're working the map really well right now. The tap of the door baited a lot of rotations from the side of Sen.
But the thing is, they didn't leave.
Yeah, they're reading too far into this.
Yeah, if there's been enough time where you would expect them to have started to rotate away at this point, but they've all stayed. And so Cloud9 are going to be pulling right back into the teeth of this defense.
Yeah, sometimes you just overcook on some of these pistol rounds. That smoke's going to make it very obvious, and there's 5 members of Sentinels here and ready.
They've realized Second is here. You've got the Paranoia coming out as well as Redux is looking to push the matter just a bit. With the flash on the outside, Curry's able to get another kill. Redux joining in on him as Vic and Zeba are the 2 that remain. A sliver of HP amongst both of them with 13 seconds left. Time is of the essence, and it will not matter. Sentinels get the pistol.
A great read from Sen, not over-rotating back to the C site when that orb was grabbed. Perhaps it's because they had nobody there to even hear it in the first place.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
this is what I mean when I mean overcooking from the side of Cloud9. They baited out the rotations with the tap of the door very well. But Sen, they were just stacked towards that A site. The double back was the demise. Now, Sen are sitting at 1-0 on the defensive side. A lot of light armor across the board from them. That could make them worse for wear against these classics. Gotta be careful.
Zelsis in a tough spot here. A little messy, but of course Zekin is here to save the day.
With the no-scope, nonetheless.
He's gonna have a shot at another one, and he will connect. 3 kills. I don't think he's used a scope on any of them.
No. It's been a long time since I've seen somebody pick up the Marshall in a round like this, and he gets the ace with the Roomba.
That might be the greatest ace I have ever seen. 3 kills with 3 kills, no scope, and then the Roomba gets a 2K at the end. I mean, come on.
What an event. It's been magical in this stadium.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Unreal. He will bring the Marshall into the next round. He's only 2 off of his ultimate now. Oh, he's upgrading.
Upgrading from
Is he upgrading to the Bucky? This guy's playing gun game in a match. That's impressive. Fade Eye was used towards that A side of the map. Prowler to follow up. Maybe conditioning for future rounds, showing that we're willing to fight this A line. Zekin with that Bucky. He's going to play up close. So he's going to have all that info. All the C pressure should allow for John to rotate back.
Yeah, and you remember the first round. They made a lot of noise A, rotated back C, and then ended back A. If that's the case here,
yeah,
Zekin's in a great spot.
And the Omen smokes are just going to keep being refreshed on this angle.
And then if you do manage to get past the Omen smokes, you've got all the Killjoy utility. And so this is it. If they're going to rotate back into this, this is huge. You've got John QT over your shoulder as well. Haunt getting cleared. You've got to know there's someone close. He's been patient. He's been waiting. And he's successful. Only 1 foul, though, but in a bonus, you take those.
Yeah, and with the Viper on your side, the wall could go up. You can get out of dodge. Yeah, it's even numbers, but this is your bonus round, and it's looking good for Sen so far.
What's the plan here on the other side of this for Cloud9? Again, I want to call back to the pistol round. They got a numbers disadvantage, and then everything kind of went sideways.
Yeah, and they're running into that Killjoy utility that you were speaking of earlier. The orb should be going up very soon. There it is.
They're going to run into this. You've got the Paranoia out, 13 seconds left. Wingman may have found safe passage, but Redux isn't concerned, I don't think. He's going to get a couple of kills here, but they're traded right back. It's Vic who's left alone at 1v2. John QT and Curry have arrived at the scene. All of the pressure on the Clove. The jump peek, that was messy, but it worked.
Great heads-up play from the IGL of Sen in that 1v2 to just be a human drone, jumping around, catching Vic sleeping in the moment. Maybe that time off is working against them, Doug.
This feels like an eternity ago, but remember how slow they started in their first series against MXS.
Yeah, it really does feel like whoever loses the first map will win the series with how both these teams' years have gone.
I mean, even just today.
Yeah, even today.
Slow starts seeming to be the key.
That being said, Zekken will have the showstopper online. Zeppa, the only one to answer with an ultimate of his own, has the Thrash available. But it's light armor across the board, and there's a lot of phantoms from the side of Sen right now. Some spam through the smokes, a lucky headshot here and there, but this is aggression.
Where are you going? With the Han on the other side, but they heard the TP up on the box. They just spam right through it.
What a read.
That's very nicely handled by Cloud9. You see what the intentions were, what the idea was. They just weren't able to execute.
Yeah, the members of Cloud9 breaking that fade eye made it obvious. And another punish. Oxy this time onto Zekken. That showstopper is not going to be able to be used.
Dropping the Thrash as well just to secure the round. Or at least increase the possibility and the probability of it. With Spike in hand, they've made their way out onto C. No flank to worry about. Nothing of the sort. All eyes forward. Smoke goes down to kill, goes the way of John. And another one in the way of Curry. This is a 5v3, or at least it was. If they're able to convert this, this is massive. And they're getting ever closer. Vic and Moose trying to avoid disaster. And they might just do that. What in the world can John do here? 58 HP, position given away, spotted by the cam. No real idea of where the remaining two members are. And that's a round for Cloud9.
Yeah, it got down to the wire though, Doug. That wasn't pretty by any means. It was a 5v3. I think that Clove kind of worked against them. Those smokes, they don't last as long as an Omen, as a Viper Orb. Maybe just not used to the timing so far. But they still recovered. Moose got that important kill from the main onto top site. So Cloud9 finally answered back. 3-1 for Sen.
Again, the light armor situation for Cloud9.
And now for Sen as well. Light armor, yes, so that Omen flash was way off the mark.
But again, you can tell what the idea was. The Haunt combined with the Paranoia to get a little bit of early info.
Yeah, Cloud9, they're ahead of this though. Great rotation towards C. Hitting the site with only 2 members, Zelsis. He has to back up.
Yeah. No real choice but to give up the real estate. Now, Sentinels do have a couple of tools here for this retake. Dueling rockets, as Oxy's the first to pop his. And between that and the breach utility, it will pave the way to take the space. Now spotted, John QT dodging lethality, and now it's it's Zekken's turn, traded 1-for-1. Both raise the sideline for the rest of the round. The spike has been ticking for a little while too here, and they've lost contain of Waterfall. He was up a little bit too far. They've got the Rolling Thunder now.
Time.
Mitch with the finger on the trigger. Now Poppy Gonzalez is sent straight up into the sky as Zeppa brings him down. A 1v2, and you're right, time seems to be the difference maker this round.
A great peek out of the smoke from Mitch to get the trade in main, in water. Gets the breach ultimate because of it. And then, yeah, that was just too easy for Zeppa to clean up on the actual site. Everyone was breach ulted. Another good round from Cloud9. A fast reaction this time around, and that kill from Oxy onto Zekken. I feel like Zekken's just been so unlucky today with these Raze ultimates. I mean, we saw Jake just plucking him out of the sky multiple times last series.
The life of a Raze is tough, man.
Super unfortunate.
He's still sitting at 7-4, though.
Yeah. Some would say he's popping off right now.
A little bit of speed here off the Paranoia. The nade to make sure no one TP's back. Half wall and control game.
And it's just fast reactionary play from Cloud9. Every time we see these A default go through, they've sped up C or taken the B space. Now that prompts a re-clear from the side of Sen.
But I do think this kind of leans towards Sentinel's benefit if they continue to do this. I mean, Lee, even look at this round. They just dumped some of the util A, and then they've inserted React and left them there. They know that they've been doing these fast rotates around.
That was a cool nade from Oxy to get some chip damage, but if they do decide to end back at B, because he naded that corner, they might assume maybe no one's there. Zeki hasn't moved at all. I say that, but it's going to be a re-clear of A, so a lot riding on Redux right now. He only has 1 TP.
And there's nobody here to help him. Now spotted. He's got the big TP to get out of there.
Wise too.
Live to fight another day. Meanwhile, Zeki close by. Not fully committing to swinging out onto the fight. So once again, it's Redux who's being called upon as Oxy just Goomba stomps him.
Dunked on.
And then moves forward.
Spike planted.
There's still a really good spot here. Again, John has his ult invested, tagging onto 3. The only one who wasn't tagged, I believe, was Mitch. But it feels labored. It feels heavy. It feels difficult for Sentinels to get back into this. I don't know that they really have the room.
Really good discipline from Cloud9 on this post plant. Making it very difficult. They made that so difficult, Doug, for Sen to find any type of way in.
And I mean, what was it that was so effective in that position? Because you're right, I mean, we could feel it. It felt difficult, it felt labored.
Hold up, Oxy just died to Zelsa's turret, but either way. So what it was is, it's just the positioning of Cloud9 in that post plant, taking control of Heaven, playing crossfires in the actual site itself. Sen, they did a good job of trying to scout out, find anybody that would give them a peek, but there were none there. Moose, he was the only one on an island there. And yeah, Zelsis may have gotten the one up on him, but they ended up losing the round because of it. All that time taken to clear him out. And right now, Cloud9, they're maneuvering around the map very well. Quick reactions off of the default utility from Sen at A, making Sen have to use utility to re-clear space that they've already gathered. Formulating the plan to end A in that round was beautiful. Wonderful job.
Again, space taken A main, but this time a pit towards C as well. A little bit more into the defense of this one.
And Zeppa did show a Gecko Flash early on C. This might catch the Cloud9 players sleeping at the wheel, but I say that the one way is just going to be shuffled up. It looks like they're going to want to hit into this Viper's pit. The thing is, they don't know that there's also a Killjoy with mollies, with an alarm bot deep into that Viper's pit.
They do have a Thrash. And you would assume Killjoy's close by.
I think Vic is going to run in, pop his ult after he gets taken out. Look at all the delay, though. Next, you have the Killjoy molly. You have another one if anyone wants to satchel past the pit.
There's the Thrash. A little bit of different order, but Zelsis is tagged. They know where he is now. Still getting a kill. Vic's going to pop his ult. Zelsis is now dead.
I know exactly where.
What an execute from Cloud9. There's the power of the Clove, but now he has to run all the way up. If he wants to stay alive, he's going to drop. But it was enough space to gather into that Viper's pit and take the site.
Well, it's not given a second lease at life, as Oxy isn't either.
Yeah, he was so far ahead of the team.
I think, though, it's because of where Vic died. There's still the ability to apply some pressure with smokes and help kind of cover things. You already see one dropping down towards Waterfall. Zeppa popping his Thrash for a second time, and for a second time finding a target. This is still winnable, though. A 2v2, a little bit of damage dealt this Mitch. Feels the space running away. A 3K for seconds, still one to be found. Moose waiting on the other side, and again, I don't know that Zekin can find a way in. With 4 HP, he just runs away.
And you're 100% right. All that space that was gathered by Vic, yeah, even though he didn't get any kill or could keep his self alive after popping that ultimate, Oxy was able to take everything. Now, Sen, they have to re-clear so much space. They have to worry about all of CT. They have to worry about all of the corners and water to clear out. They 3-manned up, and it looked promising at first, but the spam on a John QT, too much.
You take a look at the rollout one more time.
Yeah, the spam on John, who doesn't even get tagged by the Thrash, again, very unfortunate.
We have a timeout called here. I'm really curious to watch how the rest of this half plays out, because I think we've seen them react, both teams react to each other a couple of times already. And again, let's talk through what that timeline has looked like. Sentinels like to aggressively take space A main. They started to realize that Cloud9 was accelerating back C. So what do Sentinels do? They dump the util and then instantly go BC. They just insert Redux at A. Cloud9 catch wind of that, and then they re-hit back A. So what do Sentinels do on the other side of that? They leave 3 back A.
Yeah.
These last 4 rounds have been a tit for tat. Like, okay, you're going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And it will be interesting to see how this half continues to evolve.
And it makes you feel like you're secure. Yeah, we have the Viper's Pit down, deep alarm bot, 2 mollies. But that Clove, it's so unconventional. You're not used to playing against that ultimate. Maybe in ranked, sure. But in a professional setting like this, sometimes you just miss the mark.
It's a different ball game. And the ball game currently is in the hands of Cloud9. 4 rounds in a row to take the lead. Oxy 1 away from his ult. And a broken buy for the defense. And a different look, too. How many times have we talked about this A main control? Now they aren't even interested in it.
I was about to say that, and of course, now they walk A when nobody from Sen is fighting it. And that just makes it obvious that it's either a stack on the actual site or it's just for the free.
And this is, again, Imi kind of reading ahead of this because that wasn't off of a lack of info. Before the barriers went down, they were stacked A.
Yeah.
So Sentinels gamble towards C, and unfortunately, they've swung for broke.
Zappa on an island, he only gets 1. Will be an upgrade for John.
What can they do with it? Still has light armor. Second does as well. With the spike planted, this is tough.
Yeah, that camera getting info on multiple members on the flank. A lot rides on Moose right now in this up-close spot.
Oh, I didn't think that was going to hit him. Oh, he's gone behind him! But Zekin provides cover and provides safety. Mitch having to push forward, gets ahead of the fall line, gets 2 by himself. Vic again left alone. What a retake attempt. That was insane.
Through brute force. Absolutely bonkers. And it was Zekin, I believe, who came through the door that was already open.
And then looked back.
Yeah.
It was him, yeah.
He saw Moose trying to finesse around that wall. That was the cue to turn around.
I wonder...
Moose gets seen, I think, by John QT right here, right now. Oh no, it was just intuition.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there was a cue.
I cannot believe that just happened. I can't believe he just turned around. 13-5.
And that kill doesn't necessarily light up like and reflect in the stats, but that's a round-saving kill.
Yeah, 100%. And now, timeout for the other side.
Just to build a little suspense, you know?
Yeah, so intense, timeout after timeout. Coaches are even battling at it. 4-4 is the score, just to remind everybody.
And a quick check-in on what stakes are, what they're playing for.
Berlin, baby.
An international during the off-season, a chance to play later on in the year against the best around the world. I mean, that's what you play for.
Yeah, and a chance to show off your actual roster, whatever that may be.
Right.
For whoever qualifies.
Right.
Getting even more reps in before the VCT season starts again. That's experience that's invaluable. We saw how good Sentinels performed this year because of the grind they did in the offseason.
I mean, you could make the argument that that's what led to an international win in Madrid. And so you're right, every single rep matters. And after the marathon of a day that both of these teams have had, they're sniffing at the finish line. There's still work to be done, though. Tied 4-4 in this opening map. We'll see how things play out again. Is this little chess game, right? These little micro decisions have continued to kind of flesh out. Sentinels back to the A main control. But it's a different look, too. It's always been Redux TPing forward off of the nade. That's not the case here.
Nobody really to fight here. Broken door. It is open, which could lead to a late mid to B split for Cloud9. But John, he's just been tucked in this corner the whole round. And it's silent across the board.
Yeah, second spotting a little bit.
What a
day is not going to feel good.
He almost got taken out.
He's got his ult. 2 satchels, too.
What a risky peek.
Yeah.
John, let's see if all his patience is going to bear fruit.
I mean, you've got Curry, who's posted up on the other side. There's the fruit that's been reaped. The harvest is plentiful. Oxy will fall as well.
Oh, what a time.
And Zekin's position here is gorgeous as the wall goes down. 2 kills are found.
Wonderful.
He's trying to drop a couple of pot shots and perhaps find his way into a kill, but all he's done is give his position away. Oh, well, okay, hang on.
Moose can be so good at 1v1s.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big reason why he's part of this Cloud9 roster.
Avoiding the haunt, you imagine he's just going to try to hang on to this weapon as best as he can.
He's going to do his best.
10 seconds left.
They've got the money if they want to hunt.
And John, he's one off of that orb. He should just try to run it down, even if he dies. You have the Fade ult for the retake on whatever site you want to play retake on for the following rounds.
He is the closest, but it does not seem like he will give pursuit. And so the rifle will be carried over by Moose into the next round. Sentinels take the lead back.
Man, second sitting at 15-6. Miles ahead of anybody else on the leaderboard. That's just beautiful. You love to see that. It's still the Zeppa and Oxy show on the other end for Cloud9. There's a lot of ultimates that are going to come online for this side of C9.
You got Mitch and Zeppa, a point away each.
Yeah, this round, a bit of a light investment. Economy just not quite right.
Yeah, just enough to give you a fighting chance. 2 rifles. And again, I think the ults are what's key here.
I'm wondering if that was a mixed one-way from Redux.
I got you, I got you.
Doesn't matter though. Mollies were popped by Zelsis to buy enough time for Redux to get that second smoke online. But yet again, a rotation towards the other side.
Yeah, but I think Cloud9 got what they were looking for here. I mean, the rollout at the beginning of the round was to secure that ult for Zeppa, and they did.
Yeah.
So I think the question is now what? What do you do with this? I would imagine if they had intentions of getting this ult at the very beginning of the round, it's because they have a plan to invest it here. They're going to drop more than just that. There's the third ult coming through. Redux is dead. The lockdown responding in kind by Zelsis. And Oxy's dead. A little bit of a 1-for-1 as they commit to getting it down, but you know, it got destroyed, okay.
That breach blast paired with the nade that Oxy threw before he went down, it was enough to get rid of that lockdown.
This is so tough because now they can lean on this Thrash for the post plant. Second pops his ult, but is there any way to go? Is there any way through? They've given up all of this space. It's actually Curry who falls, and now the Thrash. Remember, this was the objective at the beginning of the round. This push and pull of space that's been given up by both of these teams is now settling in to spam over the mound. Second getting 2. Time is so short. I don't know that he can find a way in on this. A massive round from Zeppa.
And again, a great round of maneuvering around Lotus attack. The tap of the door multiple times to feint that we're going back towards B or A. Basically put Redux on an island, and then this execute comes through. There's no way that Redux can do anything. The Gecko Flash, the Raze Rocket. Zekken, he tried his best. But with time running so low, John had to do nothing but stick.
Yeah, he had no other option in that position. That was the only card to be played.
5-5 half.
Yeah, despite Zekken's best efforts, they're in the dogfight here. 5-5 with work to be done. Mitch has his Rolling Thunder online. John QT with the Fatal. We're not going to see Mitch's. Things should slow down here a little bit.
Yeah, and Curry making a lot of noise here, but it's Zelsis to bail him out on the wide swing of Vic.
They've got to be careful here because Zelsis has a lot of contain. If the timing is right, he can have a feast on this.
This is so much info that he just gathered. Just by himself, inching out on that peak. Not only does he get back in turret range to not have to worry about front B lurk, but he cleared out most of that rubble area, and now he's just gonna slip back into B site. So right now, Sentinels have a good read on the round. Redux, he should be getting ready to use that paranoia, dial in on his crosshair.
And again, there are no smokes for Cloud9 to play with here. Not only is Vic dead, but he died out towards A.
Yeah.
So if they do try to end B or C, that's what they're gonna have to deal with. They don't have Vic's ability. Doesn't matter how many fake smokes he throws up, they're not gonna bite because they see everything that's happening on C. It might not matter. They might just, again, brute force their way through this.
Insane. We're in a 2v2 after what looked like an unlosable round for Sentinels.
15 seconds left. They clear Back sight. They clear spawn, and now commit to the spike. Moose and Zeppa in the face of Zelsis and John QT. They're trying to retake the site, they're trying to retake the space, and they both go the way of Sentinels. Every single kill found. Sentinels take the lead back.
And it looked like John was ready for that the whole time. When Zelsis was scaling up towards that right side site, John was sitting in water still, just holding the top site peak. So a hard read into that 2v2. Those are rounds that when they let it slip, they made it so close for YFP. That was the difference maker in them taking that series away. And it's a good defensive half so far. 4 Sentinels, 6 rounds. Playing the double controller comp.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of good from both sides, to be honest. And if that's any indicator of things to come, we've got a treat on our hands.
Yeah, slugfest.
Remember, Mitch died that previous round without getting to use his ult, so he'll have it here for the 12th.
Right here.
Some spam on his Zeppa, bringing him down to 36 HP. He might want to swap his rifle to somebody else. And of course, the one guy that didn't have full armor
Unlucky.
gets taken out by the Outlaw. Everybody else buying Stinger full armor on purpose, reading into it. Whoa!
That timing is gorgeous. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. John with 3 second gets the last, a flawless round from Sentinels to close a 7-5 half.
What a great hold on that A site.
You're going to scatter from my stuff.
The spam on Zeppa to bring him down to 30 HP, then that timing peak.
2 rounds separate these 2 squads in this first map of the grand final. We've got plenty more to come. We'll be right back. One half has been played, and it's been close. It's been hotly contested, but Sentinels barely eking out a lead here on Lotus. Still plenty to play, though, Dre.
Yeah, and this attacking side for Sentinels was what kind of got them into the gutter in the first place against YFP.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to probably revamp a little bit of their strategy, or maybe not. Maybe they just got unlucky, and they're just going to run it back, do the same type of game plan that they had going into the last match.
Well, it's a weird thing about Valorant, isn't it? Is that you can have the exact same plan, run it, and run it, and like 7 times out of 10 it works great. And then there are 3 times where it just doesn't work.
Yeah. That one set of util maybe missed, or maybe one kill that wasn't converted. It could change the entire game.
You're still sitting on a 20-8 performance from Zekin so far.
Wow, the lineup for Zelsis.
With the turret getting a little bit of help here. Not able to convert on the third, but the damage has been done.
Yeah, Oxy's sitting at 50 health.
Spike planted.
These classic
There.
right clicks can be decimating to somebody that's low like that.
Mitch is gonna try to find a little bit of space.
Yeah, but look at the flip from Sen, taking all of heaven and stairs.
This is a really nice protocol. I love how they're playing around this.
Oh,
Be careful. Zekin's close by, and I don't think they know his position. Look at he's tucked in the tiniest of corners. And again, they have no real idea. So a little bit of space will be found, yes. But at what cost? An nade should stop Wingman. Rest in peace. That's a big ding. Mitch left alone, he will fall. Zekin gets 2 more. What's he at, like 23 at this point?
yeah, he's dropping bombs in the server right now, and him holding on to his nade because there was nothing shown at the A site is what made that post plant possible for Sen to win. The utility that Zeppa and Mitch had in the arsenal, it could have been so devastating to Sentinels in the position that they were all corralled in stairs,
Get a
right?
drop.
Wingman went onto the spike. Had there not been that follow-up nade from Zekin there to break it, all of a sudden you have to body check. And that breach blast can get immense value.
Take a quick look at the investment. Guardians, a Bulldog, a Marshall.
Wow.
And damage already dealt, a kill already found.
Well, a good answer back from Oxy. And also the orb was gathered onto, I believe it was Zeppa.
The tricky thing here too is, I mean, it was Curry who had the pistol, so I don't know that they're in a position to really be able to scoop the weapon up.
Not ready yet.
It looks like it's being protected now.
Wow, Zekin with this Marshall buy. It's something that we haven't seen in a long time.
24-8 in 14 rounds.
Yeah. And when you're on this eco round, you don't have heavy armor to protect you from the Marshall itself. So it's just one shot to the body. I mean, Curry doesn't even have to look at you to take you out. Guy's doing 360s entering into the side as Viper. Center looking warm, man.
Hey, it's almost like they just played a best of 3.
Yeah, you think they did? Zekin, of course, he's gonna go hunting for more. He's only 3 off of his showstopper. Open the door. I heard that from the crowd, had to repeat it for sure. Zekin on the hunt, on the prowl. Moose, there's only so many spots he could be in.
I feel like a Moose hiding is a pretty difficult thing to do. They spotted him, he still gets a kill, Zelsis gets a trade, but Sentinels get their 9th.
Hey, good for him, man.
We talked about in the first half, so I think the big story today has been slow starts for both of these teams. You think about every map they've played, it's been like, it's been a little sluggish, it's been difficult to come out of the box, and for Sentinels here, remember their first half, they win the pistol, they win the following, and then they win the bonus, and it feels like they're starting to open things up. They have the opportunity to do it again here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last series on the first map that they played, they won both pistols, lost 13-9. That's tough.
Yep.
This time around, I think it's a different story. They're in the driver's seat.
This is a bonus with 4 rifles, and that's already a kill found. An explosive start.
From both sides, Oxy tried his best to even the score, but the spacing of Sen on that swing on A.
What's tough too is Redux was just able to upgrade to a Vandal.
Redux has been so good.
Moose will be here first. He's got some spam set up. Doesn't pull the trigger yet though. Patient with it, tucked in the smoke, and now gun barrel's pointed his way. But Zekin doesn't spot him. The paranoia is gonna push him off the angle as Redux fills in on the space behind him. Vic is gonna be pinching in, leaving Zelsis all by himself.
Found them. Bomb grenade out.
He's gonna pop a couple of mollies, try to buy some time to rotate all the way around.
He's gotta start shifting now. They're gonna hear him. Oh,
You gotta hurry.
may have been perfect timing. I think they...
I don't know.
Yeah, they heard the step. They heard the step. Yeah, look at Moose right now.
Vic
He's
is
dialed.
too. Not able to snap onto it. The Vic's gonna get the defuse. No bonus found this time as Cloud9 get to 6.
A valiant attempt from Zelsis, trying to wrap around. I think he was maybe one step. Yeah, just one step too late into the shifting.
It's tough in a position like that. Again, it was a 1v2 in that situation. It's hard to, I mean, I feel like all the plays that he could have made there were low percentage plays.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Peek main against an Odin that can just spam you through the wall, the little sliver that you have to work with? So Moose, he will bring that Odin into the next round, but a lot of damage was done for Sen in that round.
Whoa, that's from really far back.
A very early showstopper. It will gather a bunch of space, though, on this ace site.
A space that wasn't really contested.
Yeah. And look at the over-rotate from C9. There's 4 members here ready to fight.
I don't know that it's an over-rotate because all of Sentinels are here as well. Meanwhile, the 1v1 happens on the other side of the map. It goes the way of Zelsis, but Cloud9 seem to be holding the line. Unless Redux can do a lot. He's got behind him. He's gotten 2 kills, but the spike now sitting in no man's land.
No peeking.
Zelsis with so much to do.
And so little HP.
But plenty of time. Again, a miserable spot for him to be in. He's guessing. There's no way to confirm where Vic might be.
I got the spike.
Grabs
He's out
the
of there.
spike and gets away.
Yoink is mine now.
40 seconds left. He has a couple of ways he can play this. He can fully commit to planing B, or he can rotate all the way back, which seems to be what he's doing. Drop utility along the way, and then try to set up for C.
30 seconds
What a
left.
smart player. You just can't teach that.
He's gonna have ult. Does he invest it here? He knows where he's coming. The pathing is there. Does he pop the ult? Yes, he does. That's gonna buy some time, but he stays in.
Bomb grenade out.
First Molly popped. Vic, no idea where he is, but he dropped the lockdown. And now the real game is afoot. He still hasn't been spotted. Zelsis has concealed his position perfectly this entire time, but can he get the kill? As the spike ticks away, 30 HP left, and Vic gets the best of him. The round the way of Cloud9.
That was so tense, but the rookie with the outplay, no doubt in his mind that Zelsis was somewhere in sight. The fact that he didn't get peeked from that mound area, and he secures the Odin at the end of it too.
I'd love to see where that lockdown was placed. I didn't think it was in a spot for it to be clear, but obviously Vic was able to do it.
Yeah, it was a little too close. I think you could see it.
Yeah.
That little pathway connecting to water. If it was a little bit deeper.
I mean, he's locked out.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, then Vic is in a brutal spot. He's got to challenge the lockdown or take the fight or give the space up, and then the spike had been planted for a little bit longer.
And it was a really good idea from Zelsis as well.
Agreed.
To put the lockdown here and then quickly cross over to site.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
Vic really didn't know where he was.
He could have been anywhere. But the 50-50 goes the way of the rookie. As you mentioned, a timeout has been called. Again, another moment to slow things down, talk things through.
It came down to 1 foot in the previous round for Zelsis.
Yeah.
And now it came down to like 1 inch of that lockdown being off. This game is so punishing on little tiny mistakes. That's what it's like to play at this high of a level.
We'll take a look at the money here in just a couple of seconds, but I mean, the implications of that are massive too, as we're nearing the end of this map. Those little mistakes are magnified.
So the slugfest will continue with that 1v1, that Vic 1, the newbie.
Still light armor on the side of Sentinels. No real choice to do it either. I mean, the money's not great. Meanwhile, Oxy has his ult, Moose has his ult, and then there's 1 point away for Vic. Oh, and he's got it now. That's second dead.
Swatted out of the sky.
Paranoia will buy some time, but it's not quick enough to get the swing. It might not matter, though. As Zelsis and Redux, brothers in arms, just push forward.
And they need to be careful here. They need to be wary. The power of Cypher is you don't have to play around the utility. You can post it up. You could cheat over towards that A site if you really want to.
I mean, and even just like the passive info that you're getting from the fact that your utility hasn't been hit yet.
Sometimes it can be used against you, though.
Sure.
If Sen walk all the way up and pop right on top of the trip, there could be no time for Cloud9 to react and get a rotation. That tap of the door is keeping 3 members here.
And again,
Celsius is so good.
And it's because the utility of Moose has not been tapped. It hasn't been affected. So there's reason to think that there's a lean towards A. But the Han is out, the trip has now been hit, and now they realize
it's too late.
30 seconds left.
With only one done, and now they have to be super careful. They have a lot of the map they have to play around, but Sentinels may be overthinking this. If they try to end back B, they're going to hit the other trip.
Oh, no.
And now they're going to know.
They're going back C again.
Yeah.
The spike could have been planted 10 seconds ago.
The classic quadruple pump fake.
Moose, he wins the 1v1 on Curry now, and Celsius drops the overcook.
Oxy and Vic both have their ults. And they're both brawly. They both want to fight. There's the ult invested. Somehow doesn't hit John QT. And now Vic with 3 on the round. Leaving it all onto Redux. Can he settle the shots? Gonna have to get through 3. Can't connect on any of them. That's another round the way of Cloud9.
And a huge blunder of a round for Sentinels, Doug. There's no reason they should lose that round. They had a free C site. The double back to B. Just overthinking it.
And I don't even know that it was the double back as far as time goes, but 2 members were caught. Well, Moose wins that 1v1, but then you get caught out across mid. In B, the positioning wasn't great. That felt like the crux of the round.
So rough. And now the economy of Sentinels is looking even rougher.
I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of that last round. It was light armor, not by choice, because they couldn't afford to get much else. And so the 18th round is upon us. Fault line at the beginning. A little bit of damage dealt. That's really it, though. At least for now.
It was a speed-up call towards C, grabbing the orb on Celsius. But it was a Prowler on the opposite side of the map to re-clear all that A space. So now, Sentinels, they're reading ahead that it was a feint. But the front B proactivity from Vic and Mitch, hearing the rotation, snagging one off. Now they're able to stack towards the A site.
I mean,
Cloud9 are reading this map perfectly right now.
Yeah, having the proactivity is one thing, but hitting that shot is, that's another one entirely.
Yeah.
Oxy not connecting there. But as Curry tries to slow walk into the side, he slow walks into his death. It's a waltz the other way. Just when it seemed like Sentinels were in a position to run away with the map. Cloud9 punch back.
And it's not just through individual skill.
Yeah,
30
agreed.
seconds left.
It's the overall macro.
Like I never left.
Redux slips into the smoke, but Vic, he'll pop his ultimate for it. Now he's going hunting.
He's got to get the fight. That's a kill found. The spike's still out of reach. With 10 seconds left, you still have Oxy with his outlaw. That's 1 kill found. The second is delayed, but surely John is not around for long.
Just getting bombarded with utility. He still takes that Oxy, but
Yeah, he got his.
with the blast. And it was such an impressive round for Cloud9. They showed a fault line towards that A side of the map.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
And it was good for John to re-clear all that space with 1 Prowler. But the thing is, that proactivity in front B, they were able to hear all that rotation after that C orb was gathered. And they were just 1 step ahead the entire round because of it.
Remember, that was off of an eco.
And the thing is, these are the mind games that you have to play with the breach. Now there's going to be follow-up utility with it this time around. Oh, look at this, Redux is getting bombed.
Bomb, pooped, takes damage, and then dies.
Runs through his own Viper wall, very ambitious.
Must be nice to get to play the game, huh?
Oh,
Oxy and Zeppa mowing down 2. But somehow, I mean, they stay away just long enough. And as the dust settles, Celsius is left in a 1v3 with 21 HP.
And that clove smoke that you saw from Vic, usually that's something you see attacking sides do.
Yeah.
To block off all the different angles, allow you to get LOS of the orb. This time, it's used to just try to bail everybody out, take isolated fights.
Yeah.
Celsius sitting at 21 HP in an Odin. And still, full utility. Front B, trip on C, deep cam as well. I think Sen, they need to start moving into a C default a little bit more, trying to break out that Cypher util, maybe even just default front B, break that same trip every single time that is being thrown.
And I imagine that's part of the conversation right now. This is a pseudo timeout, an opportunity for Sentinels to talk things through. The round is done.
Yeah.
There's really no intentions of playing around that, but you imagine this time is being used to figure out what the 20th round will look like.
Yeah, they need to work the map a little bit more, work the
10
Cypher a little
seconds
bit more.
Yeah.
Spread the defense thin. Make it so they're not stacked at every single site they're hitting. That's the power of running this double controller composition. You could really take your time and work the map. So many rechargeables across the board. The gun will be saved. It is noted, and it can be very powerful at times, especially spamming that A line. I'm assuming we're going to have a timeout right here for Sentinels.
Yeah, it could be carried over into a bit of an extended break. You're absolutely right.
Maybe give even more time to come up with a strat. Perhaps a change of game plan, like I stated.
Here.
But I do not think that will be the case. So back into the action we go. What are the adjustments? Because Cloud9 have taken the lead back.
Here it is.
The spam that you were mentioning at the beginning of the round, not really finding anything. A little bit of chip damage onto Oxy.
But the cam was broken. So now there's no C mound info anymore for Cloud9 to just cheat over towards that A site. If they can break the front B trip as well, it'll pose even more question marks for Cloud9 into where this attack is actually leading to.
They did. They broke the trip with a lineup from Zelsis.
There it is.
They used a molly for, I didn't even see where he dropped it from, but that is going to clear it out, and that's going to force things to rotate just a little bit.
And a great trade to have the site for free.
Curry one step closer to having his pit. The site will be open. A paranoia invested, sure, but the space gained.
I don't know. I mean, I know Zekin is at 10 HP, Doug, but if he pops that showstopper, he might just fall for free.
Oh, I love that from Redux. He could be anywhere right now. Smoke starting to come through.
Good
that one way. Yeah, I mean, he's got a Vandal though. That's tough to spam against. That doesn't feel nearly as good. They've invested the Rolling Thunder, and the ult has been popped in exchange. 2 kills found the way of Cloud9. As Zekin hanging onto the trigger, he's been left by himself. It does not connect him with 10 HP. There's no way in. Cloud9 with another impressive round.
So patient on the retake, having each other's back the entire way through. And Oxy, when he starts dabbing his teammates up like that, it usually means he's getting ramped up. That breach ultimate for the retake, it baited out the showstopper, and that ultimate is so fake. How is Zeppa at 10 HP when that thing shot directly at him, it looked like?
I imagine we'll get another look at it here. It was just tough. He didn't really have, yeah, it goes right behind him.
Come on. I mean, even so, there were still 3 other members up.
Right. That's now 6 rounds in a row. I mean, they've opened this map wide.
Yeah. And Oxy, he's abusing this outlaw. The light armor buys of some of these teams, it's just been punished time and time again. Wow, the up down this time.
Yeah, that's a tough high-low, man.
Jeez. Mitch, he's playing with fire here. Oh, Curry wants a little bit of that heat.
But the thing is, they haven't been burned for the last 6 rounds, so why not? I mean, it seems like Cloud9 are poised to be on map point here.
Yeah, that trip is still up. Where is it? Oh, it's on the top.
Yeah, for the
Oh,
satchels.
no.
They've tucked behind it. Now Curry waiting with Pit out. This is a do or die. The map is essentially decided here. Sentinels have invested almost everything they have into this. They still have John's ult. He's playing up really far though. He's got to be careful. He's been caught. That's Curry down. The Pit will go with him. It's all a 1-for-1, and Vic gets 4 on the round. Cloud9 get to map point.
It's just so tough playing in the Viper's Pit against that Thrash. It just clears, it just paves a wave.
It's
for
the counter.
Redux to just jump in with a shorty the entire way through.
Right.
Match point.
Only so many spots you can play with that ultimate, with where it was put.
And so Cloud9 are first to 12, and the money for Sentinels isn't great. They have the Nightfall, but they invested the Pit. They don't really have much else, Dre.
Yeah, and that man on the screen, I mean, he's been an absolute demon in the server. 10 kills above Oxy, but look at the score. Like you said, it's 12-9. C9 is winning.
Can they put them away here with the rocket from Oxy? With the ult from Moose as well.
Wow, these trips have been so good. I think this is why you saw Cloud9 switch to the Cypher. They saw the damage that YFP did to Sentinels on their defensive side. That's kind of been the same.
This feels very decisive here. They don't really have control anywhere else on the map.
Perfect nade.
And just like that, the work that they did to get that ult at the beginning has been negated.
And the trip is still up. It's still there, so it's just free info for Cloud9. Moose is able to swing out and spam the door through the smokes in main.
That's not John dead, and they still have their 2 ults. This looks like Raps, Dre. This looks like Raps. This looks like Lotus going the way of Cloud9.
Yeah, picks across the board. 1C, 1B, 1A.
There's the ult used, connecting onto Celsius. Redux left alone, and he will fall. 13-9 the way of Cloud9. This first map in this best of 3 goes the way of what many would consider the underdogs.
Yeah, and shutting down Second, even though he was still dropping bombs.
Yeah, almost at 30.
Yeah, the fact that you could still bring it back when a player is popping off like that, a player like Second, nonetheless, who's honestly been one of the best duelists in the league.
Yeah. And he's been
crazy.
And he's been that for a couple of years. I think the interesting thing, though, as we think about the rest of the series, is now we're headed to Bind. We watched Cloud9 play Bind earlier today. We talked a little bit about the struggles that they may have had, but it didn't look great.
I just don't even know anymore with these teams. I feel like, like I said, whoever loses the first map is probably going to win the whole series.
Yeah,
when it comes down to these guys.
That does
Seriously.
seem like it's been the case.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder if they continue to lean into this Yoru comp that they were running before or not. We'll find out on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
And we are back once more, everyone. We are getting closer and closer to finding out who will be punching their ticket to Berlin to participate in the international competition for Red Bull Home Ground in the final over there. So a lot on the line for both of these teams, still playing in a best of 3. And that means Sentinels are in trouble. But would we have it any other way? This is such a Sen way to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was so weird too, right? Because the game was really close. Sentinels maybe even inching a little bit ahead.
Sure.
And then that second half, they could not win a single rifle round. Like, that was disastrous, honestly, and their attack seems to have struggled a lot today.
And look at the amount of retakes that Cloud9 were winning in that second half. Sentinels was, I think, making solid mid-round decisions and getting themselves into these post-plant positions, but C9 was playing so well together on those retakes, and I think we saw some mistakes from the Sen players as well, giving away some man advantage situations, missing out on some opportunities they had that allowed C9 to snowball back into this game.
And there are just so many close rounds like this, right? This is the bonus for C9. It comes into a 2-on-2 situation. It looks like Moose is able to get out. Vic even winning that. Now all of a sudden, Celsius is behind in numbers. He makes this huge mad dash over towards that C site, knows there's the alarm button. It's a great play from him. I love him sneaking back into the site after putting that ult down, but Vic kind of read him like a book and was able to call it right back around onto that side of the smoke, win that round, and start that snowball. After that, they didn't lose a single round.
Yeah, it was so nice from Vic in that second half as well. We had Mata on earlier. He was really talking up that player, and I think he's shown it throughout both matches for C9 this tournament thus far. I'm not huge on the Clove, but I felt like Vic justified it in the second half. He had a lot of plays where he was taking advantage of your ability to take higher risks, and he was really often finding the kills to pivot these rounds when he was taking those risks. It was really big for C9. And for a squad that I think is so momentum heavy, as we saw in their first series, winning a map 1 like that off a great comeback, I think bodes some real danger for Sen, especially going into C9's map pick.
Absolutely. And I mean, C9, you know, they've shown us different looks here too. How do you feel about Clove in the mix there? I mean, it didn't hurt them, is what Mimi said. Are you salty? Do you feel like that was a risk they took?
Look, at the end of the day,
did it feel risky?
I mean, it's a preference thing, right? I think that for me, Omen is far better consistently, but you could see a few of those late round moments where they were able to get the overheal, and that ends up mattering in a big way in some rounds. So it's a less consistent agent, but when it has its peaks, those peaks are higher than the Omen, and we got a few of those, and that certainly helped C9.
Yeah, I think the second half Vic was really showing those peaks. But what you are giving up, I think, is the ability to fight for early space in the same way with that Omen TP, which is really powerful. Noya as well, a huge piece of utility. And I mean, really often, I think we saw for Sentinels, Zekin was the guy who was getting them into these winning positions we're talking about. That first half, he was absolutely lights out. This guy is dropping over 300 ACS to lose the match. It's wild.
It felt almost like the first map C9 played today, except when Zeppa went crazy and they weren't able to get it all across the finish line. I mean, Zekin has just had a phenomenal day. Starts it off with that ridiculous double boombot kill for the ace. Like,
unreal.
That's just the silliest thing I've maybe ever seen. And yet, it slipped away from Sentinels at the end, and through no fault of Zekin's.
No, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, the beginning was close, right? It was a scrappy first half, I feel like, from both teams. It was like trading mistakes, essentially, but we ended on a more even note. And then, unfortunately, Sentinels dropping the spaghetti. C9 allowed to claw themselves back in with those retakes you mentioned.
They absolutely were. I think there are big questions now for the rest of this series as we head to Bind, because I think it did look a little bit rough in C9's first showing of this map. They lost that pretty handedly.
Bomb and the rest of the team doing nothing.
Yeah, but
gotta be
Oxy,
cooking something.
He was the man on like the milk carton the first time they played this match, but
Where have you seen Oxy?
He really showed up this last game, which I think gives me a lot more confidence for them going on to this map. And also having just played it, you can really apply those learnings quickly. You're not gonna, actually you probably did have time to go back and watch some of that if they wanted to and see what went wrong to adapt a little bit going into the second game of the day on Bind.
What kind of adaptation would you think they need on Bind? What is there a situation or anything in particular you can point your finger at and say, like, this is what went wrong on Bind for them?
I think the biggest things for me were, first of all, players in positions where they had possibilities to get kills and literally just whiffing out, simple stuff like that. And also, I think it almost looked like the comms were off in some moments. I think we had times where like a player like Oxy was swinging forward, didn't quite have a setup to trade, things like that. I didn't feel like necessarily they had any like massive mistake in their macro that led to them losing that game.
I think they struggled a little bit versus just the site execs that MXS were running into them.
Sure.
Like they're actual just like site players, whether it was breaking util or just dealing with Mata flying in at them at Mach 10. So shoring up that a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think to me, it was literally just Oxy was not playing like his normal self. And since then, he has been playing like his normal self, and they haven't dropped a map, so
Yeah.
they're going to look a lot better.
Oxy kill strat works almost 100% of the time.
strat.
It's a solid one. It's a solid one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you lose one of those maps, so you can't just throw away the entire playbook just because it didn't work out in that one scenario. This is something Doug and Baby Bay discussed as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to switch up everything just because it didn't work one time when it worked 10 times before.
Especially because clearly it's their preference, and of course, Oxy will be playing the Raze instead of the Yoru. So they'll
And
switch
they
it up.
have
and
thrown away the playbook and gone for something
Go for
completely
it.
different. But this is a comp they have played in the past, if my memory serves, back to Americas. It's pretty standard on this map. There's not actually a huge amount of teams that are choosing to play that Cypher instead of a double initiator like the Gecko Fate 100 Thieves comp that we see Sentinels playing. And instead, I think this is probably going to come down a lot to comfort for Mitch. He loves playing the Cypher.
If I'm Zeppa and after dropping a near 30 bomb, I'm told I'm playing the sky, I'm punching a hole in the wall. Like, what is going on?
I think that's crazy. After what we've seen from Oxy the last few times, he's always been the flashy player.
Okay, sure.
Man, I am excited to get this one on the road. The players are ready, so are we. Will Cloud9 able to close it out right here, or can Sen start their comeback? We're about to find out, and that's why we're going to send it over to my two favorite wordsmith, Duck and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Sorry, I was watching Baby Bay struggle with his cable. It was adorable. It's his first time. You gotta be kind with him, okay? He's never really done
My
this
first
before.
time, you know.
A freaking banger to potentially close out the day. We've got Bind, we've got a change in comps. They've moved away from the Raze Yoru stuff into something that I believe it was Mimi who was saying on the desk or the couch, the chair, whatever you want to call it, was a bit
Sofa
more
chair.
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, seeing Mitch on Cypher, it's been so long since we've seen something like this. And running the Fnatic comp, that's what they're doing right now. I think it's going to be great for them because that double duelist, it just wasn't hitting the same as it used to, man.
No, it wasn't working at all. So a couple of adjustments, and meanwhile, as much as we talked about Cloud9 and what it is that they're going to be doing going into this map, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. And that is right now that Sentinels are facing elimination. They came into this with the expectation and the goal of winning this thing.
Yeah, but they've been here before, Doug. Literally today.
That's true. Literally just a couple of hours ago.
Has it been a couple hours already? Man.
They are on attack to kick off things on Bind. And they don't even have the spike in tow right now.
Yeah, and you don't even know the last time Sentinels have played against a Cypher on a map like this. It's probably been, I don't know.
Forever?
Maybe 6 months, a year even. Some of these trips might work against them. Might be beneficial for Cloud9. B long space is gathered. Orb onto Zekin. That's info also gathered for Cloud9. Some rotations happening in Oxy. His response is to walk up short A here. Needs to be very careful here though. This 1v1 against the Viper.
He doesn't have a real way to get out of here. He's digging his heels in.
And he hears all these footsteps. He needs support, and he needs it now.
And the support is on the way. He will find one, traded back out, but again, the reinforcements have arrived. They've got numbers here. The Hawn over the top as John QT falls, and the defense for now has managed to keep the wall up. They've managed to hold the line.
Last player standing.
All falling into the hands of Redux now. Gonna rotate away, still in a 1v2, a difficult one to win though.
A lot of time and a lot of space to work with, though. He definitely has this B site for free. He can use Wingman to plant as well. That'll allow him to get some better positioning against this retake.
10 seconds
He's got a hold here. They're going to clear it out. That's exactly what they do. He's got to win these fights out. Meanwhile, for Cloud9, you don't even necessarily have to invest it. You don't have to give it that way. Moods gets his third as Cloud9 get the pistol.
Wow, and it just comes down to the spot that he decided to plant the spike with Wingman.
Yeah.
If it's in the left cubby there, it's hard to spam that out.
A deeper angle too, so they have to face a little bit more out of Hookah, and that gives them a better chance on the fight. You're right.
Yeah, but as soon as the spike goes down there from the side of Cloud9, you see the pause and the hesitation. We're not going to keep moving forward. We're just going to hold now, because now you have to go and get the spike. It's very well played. The discipline from Cloud9 has been very impressive. in these last 2 maps so far. I know it's only the first round, but
I think that's been a bit of the mold for them all day, though.
look at that trip already, getting a tag. No punishment off of it, but something that Center gonna have to be wary about in the future rounds.
Toxin screen down.
It's a 3-0 start for Moose, by the way. Great way to kick things off as you think about the pit and its value on a map like Bind.
And his Viper, it's so good, Doug. This is part of the reason why I got picked up onto this Cloud9 roster. When partnerships were going on, he was grinding tier 2 tournaments. He had something crazy, like 130 kills, 70 deaths, running the tier 2 gauntlet. That's when C9 picked him up. So he's very, very comfortable on this Viper role. Seppa is holding an off angle. Redux, he's gonna get caught lacking. That nade is gonna do quite a bit of damage on the players in the choke.
Yeah, it's not gonna feel good. And then you have Vic you have to deal with just on the other side of the smoke, and deal with him they do. Traded right back though is the Marshal, or excuse me, the Outlaw.
No scopes with the Outlaw. Another one.
I feel like we've seen more no-scope kills than we've seen scope kills today.
Yeah. Some new tech being shown in this tournament. I think it's gonna inspire players worldwide
Yeah, that's
start trusting more in the no scopes of these guns. I'm probably not the op is so RNG.
No, but the Outlaw, yeah, that's gonna be a joy in ranked.
Oh,
all
100,
your
100%.
teammates are gonna be trying to no-scope the whole time.
I mean, we just met with a fan that's 5 Red Bulls in. That guy's gonna play ranked.
He's gonna be no-scoping
all night,
every single
no-scoping everybody. He might be doing 360s on it, who knows?
It's still an Outlaw in the hands of Oxy. 4-1 start for him, 3 pips away from having his ult online. But Sentinel's at full force. A turn to the flash, a shot out from Oxy, a little bit of damage dealt, but not enough to find lethality.
Yeah. He does get a collat, though, with that
Yeah.
shot. So Zekin and Redux are sitting at 10 HP, 10, 20 HP apiece. Ooh, Zekin playing with fire again.
He's one of the weak ones. That's now 3 members. Very weak.
Oh, great nade.
But of
from
course,
Zekin.
it's Zekin who gets a kill. How about that? Now the TP out, they're gonna have to deal with that trip. And all 3 members are the ones here, close by. It's interesting, Zelsis is still on the opposite side of the map.
Oh, no.
And John has crept up A.
Yeah. B long deposit, though, from Zelsis. I wonder if he's going to take his timing and maybe a TP will come through.
But the thing is, if they do commit to the TP back B, we can
no.
lose this
Oh, no.
position. They're rotating back into him. That weak health with a judge on the other side.
And now they have to commit, Doug.
They've been fully cornered in. Again, Zelsis is going to take all of this space, but the timing is everything. Moose might win this round by himself.
Seconds left. 1 enemy remaining.
They had nowhere to go.
Oh, my goodness. This is so reminiscent of that round where they had the C site for free on the last map, and they just didn't commit. They had B for free that entire time.
And instead of rotating
10
back, you're
seconds
right.
left.
They just wait too long, and it allows Moose to just finesse from the flank and mark it. And that's the bonus round 1 for Cloud9 with like light armor across the board. I think a ghost on Moose, or no, on Mitch.
That's just so tough too, man, because you're right. It gave Moose a lot of time to get active and rotate back through market, but the thing is, he had all of that hookah and sand controlled from the beginning. There's that collab, yeah.
Start. And you know what? In the player cams there, I saw Moose have a little bit of a smirk. I don't think I've ever seen that. Usually he's just very about it. He's about his business.
Yep.
He had a little smirk. He knows he got away with murder right there.
Yet to die. 5-0 for him. Plenty of reasons to smile. Plenty of reasons to smirk as Sentinel's looking to push the pace towards A. You've got the satchel out through. Vic is already dead, but that molly at his feet will not work.
Hooked him. Another no-scope, this time on the Prowler.
They've got a little bit of space here, and they do still have spike control. They're going to rotate back into the hands of Moose, who has been a terror so far. Again, a perfectly spotless record, and that might continue here. Yes, it will. 8-0 for him.
It's just too easy for him right now. He's getting free kills left and right. Then again, it was the eco round, so to be expected. But you get a player like Moose heating up. Zelsis. Ever the showman.
I think you're right. They're eco frags, you know, whatever. But the truth is, they're not valued any differently when it comes to having a spit up. And so now we're entering round 5 here in a minute. Unless he gets it at the end of this round, he's gonna have his spit.
Yeah. And also, when Moose
30
gets online,
seconds left.
he's a shooter, man.
Yeah.
Like, he can take you down instantly.
Yep.
Right now, Sen looking like they're in a pretty bad spot. I like what they did in some of the previous rounds when they try to do an A split and you just kind of bombard the entire site with utility. That's the
10
benefit
seconds left.
of running this double initiator comp. Zealous is getting value here, getting that orb. He's only 1 off.
Max value with the orbs. And of course, you know, buy the bundle.
What's up with the NRG gun buddy, though? Can you explain that one to me?
Nope. Nope, sure can't. Timeout has been called.
A much needed timeout too.
Yeah.
This is make it or break it at this point. I mean, yeah, Sentinels, they're good at playing from behind. They're good at comebacks. But eventually your luck's gonna run out.
Yeah, that's not something you want to be good at, necessarily.
You don't
right?
want to rely on it, that's
No.
for sure. Be nice to just be in the lead for once, huh?
Without spot or blemish, is that man on your screen right now? 8-0 to kick things off. 1 away from having his pit, if I'm not mistaken.
He's looking happy up there, man.
Yeah.
Right now, I think Sentinels, the limited time they have, you can tell that there's a little bit of a disconnect when it comes to the spacing on some of these hits and what to do after the first layer. You know, after you throw out everything and the sight smoke comes up from the defending side on A or B. B is the Viper wall, of course. There's no follow-up. There's no plan 2. Very one-dimensional so far, but that's to be expected from a team that has only had 4 days playing with each other. Now then again, Mitch, talked to him backstage. This guy hasn't played the game in 2 months. It's literally what he told me straight up. He straight up said I haven't played for 2 months. That's absurd. To come out here and play for a chance to go to Berlin, the way that he's been performing, IGLing this roster, he's really fit to this squad like butter.
What are the adjustments on the other side of this timeout? A lot of presence towards A. But the thing is, Cloud9 have a lot here as well. Oxy will be the first to fall. Zekin has popped his ult. The second Satchel to go forward. He has found Mitch. And he has cleaned him up.
Spike planted.
Moose is going to be on this really late flank, as has been the case before.
And that's where the second layer was. The Satchel over with the showstopper.
Yeah.
Securing the kill into back sight. But the problem is, what are you going to do when you don't have that?
The thing is here too, this feels very slow, and that certainly, I mean, that might wrap up the round. The kill on Vic.
Ultimate is ready.
Come on, just
Hit
get out of there,
online
Moose.
for Moose. But
Last
it
player
feels like it took a
standing.
little bit too long. Moose finally falls for the first time, all map.
Yeah. They were just going for exits. Pretty smart. Their economy is very healthy.
Yeah.
Oxy, the only one that's sitting at, what, 100? Pretty impressive that he's down that low considering his teammates are sitting at like 7K.
He's been a very generous teammate, you would think.
need healing.
So finally, it will be a round for Sentinels. How can they formulate a plan without the showstopper to still fight backside when that smoke comes up?
I mean, it's not like they don't have the utility to do it.
Tons of utility.
They've got the Dizzy over the top. They have the Eye. They have the Molly from Zealous. They have plenty of tools at their disposal. You're absolutely right. Oxy pulls the trigger. Zekin tries to get away, and he cannot. Again, an early start to the round as Oxy gets another, looking for the third. Cannot connect. But Vic over the top will.
Someone's there.
And everybody out there needs to get used to this 1-2 punch combo.
Look for more.
The Oxy and Vic, these guys are so mechanically gifted.
Sana.
It was just such a good decision from Cloud9 to effectively move the line of scrimmage into their spawn. Right, so they had to dump all this utility. They lost a couple of members before they had even gotten out of A short.
Still gunning for you.
It looked like they were set up for that. Let's just be honest. Right? It's not alive though.
somehow, just barely. But again, such an uncomfortable spot to be in.
Celsius, last man standing for the third round.
And he's gonna fall. Cloud9 gets to 5, and again, there was no real way for Redux to play that situation out. He was trying to use this ult for a second time in hookah, or excuse me, in U-Haul. Couldn't, because of the Brim ult, because of Vic's ult. And then, okay, he's gonna funnel out, manages to stay alive, but then he has to deal with the pressure coming in from heaven.
Yeah, and who other than Moose, who's sitting at, what, 9 kills at that point, secures his 10th on him.
Yep.
But yeah, what a good reaction from Oxy, who was basically alone for the first, what, 5 seconds of that round. It felt like they knew that the Thrash was going to be committed either short or shower. And his reaction to pop the showstopper of his own. And then the follow-up kill from Vic, that was so quick.
Second ult used, Oxy cannot satchel away.
What a tether combo.
They're trying to disrespect this pit. They're gonna play right up into it, and they've got to know where they are. Vic and Moose both holding the site. But now a 2v2 with the spike. Looking like it's been committed. Zappa with really nice positioning. Do they know where he is? They know now. Zekin's left alone, a 1v2. The Star in a position to have to deliver, and he can't. Spam through the cage. Mitch gets the kill. The defuse comes through for Cloud9, and this is full steam ahead.
Yeah, and that's one way to secure a 2v1 win. Throw a cage on Zekin. Make sure he can't see anybody. If he does, he always has a chance. There was even a dog there from Zeppa that he still had if he wanted to invest it. Didn't need to at that point, just spam and showers. Yeah, the snowball. It's been real, Doug. 6-1 already.
It is bigger than a snowball now, bro.
I feel like we've just begun. Zekin once more at the top. It's been a little bit of struggle.
Still an outlaw back in the hands of Oxy. A similar setup to what we saw in the pistol out from Sentinels here. But Oxy's taking such a deep line, and they know that. Curry has the jump spot from spawn.
Yeah, and now he can't anymore. That's an outlaw. If he goes for one more, he's dead. So Sen, they're trying to relieve some pressure by showing some hookah presence.
But there's really nothing to get Oxy off this line.
Yeah.
There's not enough noise to be made on the other side. I think the one benefit I was going to say is maybe they crunch on him through TP, but you're right. He couldn't jump spot anymore. He does, and he pays for it.
I think that's exactly what they needed to do. You're right. They needed to try to crunch on him. Maybe it was going to be off of that other jump spot Curry did, but it was so risky. And now you're so limited on what you can do. And this whole time, by the way, C9 do not have to worry about U-Haul at all, because there's a trip there.
So they know they haven't lost that area of the map. Again, this Cypher utility has been a treat to watch.
Yeah, the Cypher pick in general has been so devastating.
I thought Luce was going to get a free one there, but it wasn't him. It was actually Zeppa with 2 make that 3. Again, Zekin alone.
Where was that in the Ludwig Radiant match that we saw earlier? Oh, Oxy to close it out with the headshot onto Zekin. And he'll get an upgrade as well.
Okay, I only have, like,
This is after a timeout has been used, too.
Just brutal. Curry got absolutely smoked in that jump spot. I think they were definitely trying to set up a Showers pinch. It's a little too wide there, buddy.
A little.
Yeah. Oh man, Zeppa. His aim has been looking so crispy.
All day. 8-1 right now. We've talked a lot about Moose, and for good reason, but I didn't realize he's only died once, too.
And yeah, another outlaw.
There was nothing to cover the other side of short. And so he gets punished for it. Now they're going to try to speed things up here a little bit. No trips to keep him back. They've got the cam, sure. But Mitch has to respect this. Yeah, he can't get out. He's dead. Nicely handled by Vic. And now they have the pit that they're going to have to deal with. They need to find some success here, but they don't really have the weaponry for it. A couple of sheriffs and an outlaw.
And look at how worried Sentinels are about this flank. I think Moose has to show right now in heaven. And maybe then they'll train their eyes off of short. There it is, that molly might be enough.
They're all huddled in, corralled, controlled, confident, but contained.
Oh, that spam almost connects on the second.
60 HP for him. As they're starting to creep forward into the green goo, Redux will be the first to fall. The pit's still in play, though, and time is short. He's gotten him off of it, but now the pit goes down, and that's going to be really close. That's going to be way close. I don't think he's going to get it. Yeah. And he stuck around a little bit too long. A thrifty round win for Sentinels.
Stealing the round away. Sen.
And it was off the satchel.
Yeah.
The satchel getting him off the defuse secured the round.
Also, Curry sneaking by, letting one of the players on that retake through towards shower, securing the kill on the diffuser.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's just unlucky. Chop it up to unlucky. But this, Vic, he walked right past Curry, allowing Curry enough time to take off Zeppa. But still, we've seen Sentinels win a round back, and it's always been answered back by Cloud9.
And it feels like the timing for comebacks and stuff like that, those windows are getting smaller and smaller.
They need to string some rounds together and string them together now. Oxy, he gets detained, but it's Mitch that goes down.
Can they find Oxy? Can they apply under pressure? Yes, they can. It's off the nade from Zekin. But it's traded back 33 HP for Vic as he's trying to huddle back into U-Haul. Somehow finds enough safety to stay alive. Moose has now joined the fray. Zeppa's on a flank. But the spike has been planted. Curry on the swing. Vic is now dead. And they know where Moose is too. Given how they've played the rest of this half, you've got to suspect there's a flank as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that explains Sean's position. They find him, Zalsis cleans him up. And Moose has no choice but to save.
So for the first time this map, Sen won 2 rounds in a row. Maybe bringing some of that momentum back in their favor. Building up a little bit more of their own economy to try to bring this to a 7-5.
Which would
7-5 is not bad.
7-5 is not bad. I mean,
Not
compared
bad.
to the start that they had,
Yes.
it's a miracle.
Yes.
What do you mean?
It'll give them a chance.
It seemed like they might have been dead in the water. It seemed like they may have been done.
It sure felt like it. I'm sure Cloud9 felt like they had this one in the bag as well with how things were going.
It's a fickle game.
Yeah, you can never count Sentinels out. And now, perhaps a timeout from the side of Cloud9, trying to ice any momentum that Sentinels have accumulated in these last 2 rounds.
It's a timeout called by Cloud9. I mean, they have them, so there's really no reason not to. It's not like the lead is currently under threat, but
It's a great timing for a timeout.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
agree.
like W for Emmy.
getting a chance to get involved in the conversation before it gets much worse.
Yeah, hey guys, we have a big lead. Play normal. You don't need to do anything crazy. Play to our retakes. I feel like the difference in the last couple rounds compared to the dominant rounds of Cloud9 have been the picks going the way of Sentinels. Cloud9 can go back to that disciplined approach, play that retake game. They've looked better. As a cohesive unit, they have looked better.
Mm-hmm. But the cohesion will have to stick around for a little bit longer if they want to put Sentinels away, if they want to avoid a map 3. It kind of has to happen now because Sentinels seem to be finding their footing. Again, I think you're absolutely right. They've managed to get a couple of these picks. All of a sudden, these kills are going their way that weren't going their way in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And the adjustment for Cloud9 right now is pretty clear. Oxy has given up the Outlaw. He's gone towards the op. But it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, he tried to double dip there and he gets punished for it. How does Vic win that?
And he knew he was coming. John was ready for it.
I mean, Vic was stomping at light speed because of that stim. He's still going. He's zooming.
Like he's playing a different game. Meanwhile, the op has now been picked back up. The satchel out from Zek, and Vic gets another. He's going to get away with the third, isn't he? That's incredible.
This was the craziest round for a Brimstone main. And he's not done yet. Okay, he is. But what a round from Vic. Heroic.
I don't think they picked up the op.
Last round before the switch.
So they're going to let that one go. Well, the money situation is like they may have enough to reinvest, and yeah, given that it's the last round of the half, really no reason not to.
I gotta see a replay on that whole round from Vic. That was insane. Just a speed demon in showers.
Full
He's
guns.
sitting at 14 and 6. I'm so sorry. He's sitting at 14 and 6. Take it away, brother.
It's just been a ridiculous performance from members of Cloud9, and it reflects in the score.
Fire in the hole!
Again, that's from really far back. You've got the trip, you've got the tether. Zelsis will fall, but Zekin will too. And so they try to brute force their way out on A, but once again, they slam into this wall. Still a couple of members here from the defense. They haven't gotten any showers control. They haven't gotten any backside control either. And a freeze on the round.
And if they can freeze for long enough and not give any info out from the jiggles of this player in heaven or showers, they could have a chance at busting open this site.
I mean, they don't have any smokes. There's nothing to deal with that heaven angle, and then there's going to be swing up from showers. Somehow Redux wins that out, but when you're outnumbered like that, it doesn't add up.
Double up in heaven as well.
John's going to find enough space to at least get the spike down. Oh, but he had no idea where both members were. You called out the double up in heaven, and that proved to be his demise. A 9-3 half for Cloud9.
And these trips from Mitch, look at that. One high for the Raze ultimate. The other one was showers as well. No one broke that trip for Zekin.
Switching sides.
He got fully hit by it the entire time. There was wall hacks on him for the whole round.
Hopeless.
It's just a free kill.
And a 9-3 half for Cloud9. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Cloud9 find themselves 4 rounds away from Berlin. What a spot to be in, man. I thought this series would be a fight, but it seems like only one has stepped into the ring.
And it's multiple members. It's not just a one-man army here.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about Moose at the very beginning, and then we had to call it Zeppa. He was 8-1 at one point, and then Vic.
Where did he come from? Out of nowhere, he's sitting at the complete top.
Yeah.
All the smiles on the face of Sen were just snatched away.
Yeah. I mean, this is the strongest that Cloud9 has looked. And when you're performing like this without Oxy teeing off, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign.
I will say, though, his Raze ultimates have been great. His target selection on him as well. Perfect.
It's been very impressive.
I know my Raze ults don't look like that in game.
but something has to be solved from Sentinels, and it has to be solved right now. You've got to win the pistol.
You have to.
And it's tough because pistols are, they're a coin toss 9 times out of 10, but you've got to figure it out here.
And you're gonna have to deal with a constant lurk from a Viper or the Cypher of Moose and Mitch.
That eye didn't tag anyone. They've already crept up towards short.
God, this is such a fast pace already. First wave of the Viper wall, getting all the way into U-Haul. So much info gathered.
Meanwhile, Mitch is all the way up into Hookah on the other side of the map as well.
See if he gets this kill, he'll call his team back. What an awkward 1v1.
And there's no way that John could have known how far up he was at that point. And so now they have so much room to work with A. The TP going off suggests that they're headed back B, and they're right. So the rotates come back from Sentinels towards B. Still a minute left in the round, though. Cloud9 can play this a million different ways.
Camera taken out.
Cam being broken in the elbow makes C9 believe that it's maybe only one player here, but it's actually a whole squadron.
Yeah, this stack is difficult to push into. They didn't have a gun advantage or anything like that.
I get the idea of what Cloud9 were trying to cook up here, but they didn't let it cook enough. They didn't wait enough time to bait out the rotations from those B players to come over.
Yeah.
When Oxy TP'd, it was way too early.
Or even, I mean, even Oxy TPing, I don't know that I necessarily mind that, but the time in between his TPing and them hitting the site.
It's too obvious.
Yeah. Cut noise there after the TP, you can start to introduce a little bit of misdirection, but...
Yeah, they didn't give enough time for the rotations to even come through in the first place. What an entry from Oxy, though.
Yeah. I mean, he found an opening.
Now Sen have a chance. They have a chance.
It's the Sentinel's way.
And man, it's been so quiet in this arena for the Sentinels. What are you guys doing? You guys supposed to have their back.
No real purchase on the side of Cloud9. Different Viper wall, but the spam through from Zelsis is really nice. I mean, as soon as the utility comes through, that's the cue.
Spike planted.
A little bit of afterburn right there. Got him in the last tick.
Zelsis has gotten 2 kills this round. I still don't think he's seen anybody.
No. Power the Phantom, baby.
Wingman is going to tag. The spam coming through on Vic. He's got a little bit of health left. And so for Sentinels here, if they want any real possibility of getting back into this map, you have to get through this as cleanly as possible so that you can try to convert this bonus. They're going to have to reinvest a little bit as far as armor goes, but that's really it.
Yeah, now you hear the Sen fans cheering up, trying to ramp up their team. And yeah, speaking of ramping up, Zelsis getting 4 into that round, and also the defuse grants him that Brim ultimate. So now you have a big ult to work with to try to win this bonus round. And he even gifts his gun to Zekin, I believe, who now has full armor, a Phantom to work with. A pretty smart play right now for Zelsis, because if he gets a tag, maybe he can catch somebody out with the ult right after.
Yeah. A Judge, a Spectre, light armor on 2. But you're right, the ult from Zelsis.
It's a make it or break it right now. He's got to get value with it. He wants to invest it into this round. He needs to invest it into this round.
I mean, there's no reason not to. It's so early in the half, and you're still down 4.
But if they can win this bonus round, Doug, all of a sudden, you're sitting at a 2-round deficit.
Cloud9 have just been so good. It feels like a monumental ask.
They're trying to bait out these Viper walls, these smokes from the side of Sen.
This is a 1v2 for Mitch. If they swing into him, that's trouble. The Dizzy comes through. He almost gets a second. But John cleans things up. Meanwhile, off of that, they fully lost B-site. And they know that John is there. They should have known John is there. That's messy. That's ugly. Meanwhile, Zelsis not able to land the shots with the Marshall, not able to get the kill.
And not able to stop the defuse.
Player standing.
Redux left in a 1v2. Zeppa weak. Difficult, but doable.
Both players on the left side of Octagon. If Redux uses his molly correctly here, if he guesses correctly.
Right, but that, I mean, that's like a 1 in a million. How would you know?
Maybe
He's gonna spot one.
Remaining.
And there's no way he expects a second one there. There's a swing off for Moose. He tries to catch the timing. Off of the tap, there's the swing. Doesn't land the shots the first time, can't the second either. Moose cleans him up, Cloud9 gets a 10.
Moose is so good in the 1v1 scenarios. Every single time, it feels like he makes the right play. At least the high percentage play. And that kill not going the way of John. So unfortunate, but
He's had a rough map.
yeah, it was still winnable though. How many Marshall shots were whiffed from Zelsis there? It's not a gun that he's used to having every single day. Maybe if he kept that Phantom, he gets that. It's a 3v3. He can commit the Brim ultimate at that point.
Yeah, I mean, but I put that in Zekin's hands too.
Yeah, but the fight was beckoning him. I don't blame him for going for the repeat, what, 4 or 5 times?
Yeah. Now 2 ults on the side of Sentinels. Meanwhile, again, Cloud9 just continue to look as good as they've looked really all day, with the exception of the first map. Oxy within arm's reach of his showstopper, and that will convert it. The orb scooped up belong, and now the map, all theirs.
And they also baited out a Brim smoke, and it's not in hookah, it's in octagon. So that should be an indicator for Mitch to realize, okay, the Brim has leaned towards B already.
I think that's why you see Zelsis taking a bit of a step back, too.
Whoa.
2 shots delivered. The threat now very much aware. Oxy satchling forward. The nade's going to buy a little bit of time. Great response, but now the re-aggress. It's not going to find a kill, but it is going to find a little bit of space. Zekin has to connect here, but Mitch is just sharp on it. Now the ult invested. He's going to get it right. Redux will join him. What else can Moose do? Pushing forward.
Player standing.
Borderline flawless up until this point, but John with 2 in the round for Sentinels.
Absolutely fried with that Brim ultimate and the tether from John.
Use a gun. Whichever.
That was a really good retake from Sentinels. The utility was on point. And yeah, Zekin, he drops right there, but it was all to try to support him to live. They somehow knew that Cloud9 were going to take that fight all the way into backside, try to punish Zekin, who only had an outlaw there. And he did get punished, but on the other side, he ran into a Brim ult and a tether.
That's a tough spot to be in for anyone. Cloud9 call a timeout. They're still up 4 rounds, very reminiscent to what we saw in the first half. It was a 4-round lead. For Cloud9, Amy calls a timeout, and now a bit of a similar situation. Yeah.
What a legend. What an absolute legend. We truly are blessed to have Zelsis in the league
Yes, we are.
and at this tournament.
Yes, we are. Again, 4 rounds up for Cloud9. There's been an attempt at a comeback, and it's slowly and steadily been building for Sentinels, but as has been the case most of the day today, and even in the series, when Sentinels start to claw back, Cloud9 slammed the door on them.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier to play the utility game, I feel like, on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much that C9 can use to entry into the site. I mean, you really only have sky flashes and satchels.
That's such a deep smoke, and Oxy just checks it. He face checks the smoke, and he dies for it.
Yeah, Zelsis is 2 on point right now to be falling for something like that. Keep in mind, it is just kind of a forced buy. A little bit of a thrifty buy. Moose. Moose in 1v1s, man. I'm telling you, Doug. This guy is on something with 1v1s. Full running wide swing onto an outlaw.
From Zekin, no less.
Where is everyone hiding?
Now Cypher ultimate.
Yeah, and a little bit of info gathered, along with an outlaw.
It's going to be a 4v2.
They're going to find the right timing. They're going to find the right site, too. The rotations will not come through in time, and so the question is, do the 2 members of Sentinels on site give this space up? Or do they try to fight and win this 2v4?
A spam through the smoke from Mitch on a Curry? How did he know?
That's a tough way to go. Zelsis looking to get 2 on the site, 3 on the round, looking for the 4th, but Mitch bests him. Redux and John now starting to rotate over. Zeppa has to take a step back, but he can't quickly enough.
There's the TP.
He's gonna get there ahead of him,
He has a trip.
but he's in a 1v2. Waits for just a moment for the swing. The Prowler goes out, the Wingman goes out, the kill comes through for Redux. Sentinel's sticking around.
Yeah, just too much utility to deal with. The Wingman running in. The Fade Prowler as well that he has to flick to, all while getting swung.
I mean, there was a small time window there, and it quickly shut when he hesitated for just a second to see if there was going to be an early swing.
Absolutely, and Zelsis, he really bailed Sentinels out of this round by getting 3 right there.
30 seconds.
He's 19 and 12 right now, so it hasn't just been this round that he's bailed him out of.
He's popping off, man.
Still down 3. Early flash, space given up. And the dog, too.
It's only 2 here, though. Here comes the A hit from the side of C9.
It was 2 in the previous round, but they have guns here. It's not the same situation. Cloud9 much more potent in their ability here. Off of the swing, Moose falls. Trying to get back sight, but Cloud9 haven't been able to find a way in. Zephyr will fall too. Can Mitch keep him back with a tether? Snaps onto John. Can't get out as Vic. Wow. And Oxy, who had satcheled up just a couple moments ago, still sitting here. He's left alone, though.
They know.
In a 1v3, forget it, bro. How does he do this? Finds this one. Goop in his face. Cannot convert. Dre, they're doing it again.
Zelsis is stepping up huge right now. The impact he's getting with a lot of these peaks. It's swinging the rounds in their favor. His presence alone, his aura. C9 can feel it in the server right now. That second kill from Mitch, though, man, that was beautiful to see. It was so crispy. Just not enough, though. Zelsis, he's too fast right now.
21, 12, and 12.
Another Brimble.
And you have a couple of ults that are coming up online for Sentinels, too. And they've got money for days. Cloud9 have to find a way to stop this bleeding. But we're headed to Haven.
And at that point, Haven is just a toss-up.
Yeah.
It's anyone's game at that point.
A Bucky and a Guardian for the attack. With a Stinger to shore things up.
They haven't popped on B with this cage yet. A great nade.
He's gonna flush him out back sight. Redux has nowhere to go. He's got to try to stay alive. Meanwhile, Lich is the first to fall. Curry and John. What a hold on the site.
What a cool setup.
A flawless round for Sentinels.
I don't know how Redux lived right there. He ran through his own Brimble to try to survive, and he did just that. I mean, half of the site just got cooked to a crisp. Nowhere to go. And just like that, we're within 1 round, Doug.
The situation is slipping.
You can never count Sen out.
6 of the last 7. The way of Sen City. The comeback is not done, but this would be ridiculous.
Oh, Zelf.
He's up really far.
He wanted it. He wanted that fight so bad. So wise to back up, though. A cheeky little set play in the beginning of the round, though. Doing a deep smoke on short A. The eye to see the market guy. If that doesn't get broken, there's a chance to just spam through the smoke.
And they've been throwing that eye a couple of times. And that smoke. Remember, a couple of rounds ago, it was Oxy who just faced it. Yeah. But this time, they tried taking space. Oxy actually get out. He's got a satchel through. He's down to half health, but he stays alive. Meanwhile, the Nightfall's going to tag a couple of members.
Yeah, 4 members or 3.
Oxy's trying to rejoin his team, but they haven't really gotten back out onto site yet. Yeah, they have Lamb's control, but what they're looking for is safe passage out. Unless Curry can do something about it here.
We've seen
gonna
people
face the wall and the spit at their feet. He still gets a kill.
1 enemy remaining.
Not again, man.
They're doing it again. Vic in a 1v3, 61 HP, fully surrounded. With nothing that he can do. Even if he had somehow found the 2, he was done. I can't believe we're saying this. We're tied.
Celsius with the molly through the TP. And then he flanks all the way around Market. So there's no audio cues that he's actually on the flank. So yeah, even if somehow there's a pop-off moment, he will still secure the round. Oh, and he hurt him too. Finally, some of that luck going back in favor for Sentinels. And the buys, they just haven't been the same for C9. I feel like it's been light armor almost every single round.
Yeah, it's been hobbled together.
Cage triggered.
You're feeling the lack of utility, the lack of initiating from the side of C9. That Cypher isn't getting much value on this attacking side.
He's been tagged, but he's got help. Can the nade do any damage? No.
And a lot of utility was blown just then and now.
You had the Thrash and the nade.
C9 have a big opportunity here. There's no more Prowlers.
No real way for him to scoop the Thrash up again for a second dip.
If there's ever a moment to stop the bleeding, it's right now, when there's little utility.
Oh, that satchel just pops Elsis all the way up.
Surely it makes it obvious, but maybe if Zekken shows, it won't be so obvious. No, it is.
Yeah, they spotted him on the swing out from short, and Cloud9, it took a while, but it seems like they finally managed to stop the bleeding.
The lack of utility, so much invested from Sen early on. Wait a second.
It's still a 2v4.
Exactly where you are.
Yeah, but this Redux kid, he's been cooking
Yeah.
in the shadows.
Got one member weak, Zep at 21 HP. Time is just so short. And he's got to be so careful about clearing every single corner. He's going to get the second, the pre-fire, in case there was a swing, and there was not.
He has a molly for this box.
I'm still not fully sold. Yeah, Vic, really nice positioning out from Showers. It's just so tough in a situation like that, but he's got Wingman on it. Gets cleared out, doesn't even get to half, so Redux's job just got so much harder. Cloud9 finally went around again, and that's what gives them the lead once more.
There was almost a window of opportunity there. Had Wingman gone onto the spike so both players could be geared and ready for those swings, that was the opportunity that they needed. But investing an actual player to try to get half there, that was the demise. That shower flank was everything. A free kill. Cloud9, they take advantage of all that blown util in the beginning of the round from Sentinels. But we have an operator online from the side of Zekken. And again, a scrap buy from Cloud9, even though they just won that last round.
I mean, the scrap worked in the previous round, so who knows?
They were aware of proactivity around that hookah area. But with no reclear, this allows for John QT to lean over towards that A site. All of Showers is under control. It's going to be a late lurk.
Vic cannot overstep here.
He needs to bide his time.
Yep. Because Zekken is feeling a lot of the pressure that's coming in from the push towards short. And the dog, they know where he is. But he still hits a shot. With the dog nipping at his heels. We might be tied at 11 again.
There is still a Viper's Pit online right now. Anything is possible.
They just have a little bit of utility. They should be able to clear this out, but it cannot be ignored, if nothing else. Starting to dump some of that utility through. A couple of kills going through the way of Cloud9. A 3v3. Still, Moose's Pit in play. Curry's now down. They've done this. What can Zeppa do? Curry's already gotten it to half. It's going to be the 1v1. It's a shoulder thrown at first. Can he swing all the way out? Baiting him, calling him into the fight. And Zeppa wins that. Cloud9 series point.
The pre-fire at the end from Zeppa. Years of experience, the veteran of this roster. What a play.
Zeppa has been a stud for Cloud9 all day. And he shows up in the biggest moment so far.
Unreal. And Zekken, yeah, he was getting wrapped by that dog, but just the awareness to have, like, just to push out of Showers there. So the dog doesn't see him the whole time. That's what got him that kill on a Vic. It didn't matter at the end of the day, but these are things that you just can't teach, man.
Potentially the last round of the tournament. And again, a weird buy. Oxy's on a Bucky in light armor. A couple of ults on the side of the defense. But the attack has the same. And they're notable ones at that. If they want to fully aggress into this pit with Zeppa's ult, they can. And then a crunch out from Oxy towards Showers.
Sky ultimate, Brim ultimate. This is gonna be so hard.
It's gonna
for
be
Curry
the
to
dog.
hold this. He's gonna have to give. He's gonna have to give this up. If he doesn't, he's gonna get crunched.
But he stays. Buying his time.
Oh my God, they just want to face this right now. Oxy's gonna double satchel into the Viper's pit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Here we go.
They are going to try to brute force their way through this. First the flash, then the Seekers. No commit from Oxy yet. But they've gotten the pit. And now the ult. Backside. Got a little bit of space here. Redux is now starting to join the fray. He's the one who has the ult in hand. Can they contain? Can they keep things up until he arrives? Now the Thrash on its way through. 13 seconds left. They haven't fully gotten out onto the site yet. And now committing. 1 for 1. 8 seconds left. They've got to get the spike down. And it seems like they are going to have enough time. No, they don't. But they has gone down now. Redux and John QT left alone. It's all on the IGL now. Can he keep the tournament alive? Slow walking his way forward. Vic and Moose trying to make a final stand. Trying to punch a ticket to Berlin. John has struggled. It's been a rough series for him, but can he show up here? Spotting one, crosshair just a bit too high. On the swings, finds a second, but time is of the essence. He's got to go, and he's got to go now, and Cloud9 know that. They realize it, and he waltzes into his death. Cloud9 are Berlin bound.
What a close to that final map of Bind. Those last 2 rounds, nail biters. A 3v5. Face checking a Viper's pit in the last round even. Zeppa, the forefront, getting the entry onto Curry.
I mean, Cloud9 walked into this tournament, so many questions. Who are they going to be fielding in their roster? How's Vic going to do? Mitch?
Oh, Matt, Mitch.
I mean, back
He
in
hasn't
this,
played in 2 months, Doug.
And to walk away through all of that as Red Bull home ground champs in the NA scene, that's not too shabby. That's not too bad.
It was hard fought, though, man. Almost a comeback for Sen.